Hello, Internet, and welcome to you son of a. I'm keeping that. And welcome to another episode of Chariots of the Pods, the only Stargate SG-1 podcast on the internet, according to me. And who am I? I am the host of this show, Adam, Borgmaster Redacted. I think I'm going to cut our Discord names after this episode. I'm joined today by the ever lovely Tyler Grav Redacted.
Borgmaster, it's a pleasure.
Also, we are joined by the expert in space hippies. Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Jason Jatsu Redacted.
Hello there. How y'all doing?
And then our very special guest from the Space Viking planet, we have Justin R258 Redacted.
That's me.
The one who coughed.
I don't know why. Why would I be a Viking? Is it because I like Swedish death metal?
Because we go to the Space Viking planet. But that's for later.
Cool. Do they like Swedish death metal?
You know, they didn't try, sadly. All right, so we're here today to go through the next batch of Stargate SG-1 episodes. Last time we looked at the first regular episodes of the first season. I've already forgotten the names. Doesn't matter, we're moving on. But this time we're looking at episodes 6 through 9, which are Cold Lazarus, The Nox, Brief Candle, and Thor's Hammer.
A somewhat superior collection of episodes.
Yeah. They're slowly getting there. All right, so starting off with season 1, episode 6, Cold Lazarus. A quick high-level summary for anyone who needs their memories jogged. This is the episode where they go to the yellow sand planet with crystals. A crystal zaps O'Neill, replaces him with a clone. That clone is very confused, wanders around, I guess, Colorado? Finds O'Neill's ex-wife, finds out that death exists, and really just traumatizes everyone involved before dying.
Pretty much. I don't think he actually dies. Or
the clone?
I don't know.
No.
Can you say
he doesn't. He doesn't. They got him. They got.
Oh, they get him back. Oh, right.
He
turns into O'Neill's dead son, and they bring him back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say he because it spins the episode existing as O'Neill. I don't think these crystals have a concept of gender, however.
Yeah, or age, or like how, like, I guess squishy life forms
or anything human. Is this the first episode that kicks off right in the planet they're heading to? It doesn't.
I think the manga episode they gate in and gate out at the beginning and end.
Okay.
But this does establish the
Maybe.
Gate in, spend time on the planet, and then leave, kind of.
Yeah. Either voluntarily or involuntarily. Weirdly enough for me, this is the first episode where I really couldn't help but think, gee, this TV show didn't have tons of budget. Because they're supposed to be in a desert or something. I don't know if they say anything about the landscape, but it sure does look like they're standing on a styrofoam rock, which isn't actually true. And all the crystals look like the crystals from Crash Bandicoot 2.
Those are very blue crystals. All right, so I guess I'll go into my first fun production fact while we're here on the planet. This was shot on the Great Vancouver Sulfur Pile.
Oh, an excellent choice.
Now, you might be wondering, the Great Vancouver Sulfur Pile? Yes, exactly. Apparently, since 1979, the Canadian oil industry, as part of the refining process for like Alberta, tar sands oil, produces a whole lot of pure sulfur, like pure yellow grain sulfur, that is shipped by train from Alberta over to Vancouver Harbor, where they just dump it into large piles by the bay. It's fine, don't worry about it. And then they'll like scoop it up by the ton and then put it into barges or ship or container or I guess ships or whatever, and then sell it off to whoever needs sulfur. Apparently, it goes for like $20 a ton these days.
So what you're saying is, this particular set probably smelled great.
So I don't know if like the smell of like pure sulfur can like I don't know fade away when left out in the open. Uh, I'm not sure how the northern shore of Vancouver Harbor smells. That is something that I am curious about. But that's why this seems like a very constrained and limited set, is because it's on an industrial sulfur pile, and they're just like in the middle of the pile, because it's like multiple dune like 3 to 5 dunes, kind of like centered around like on this wharf. So they just built the set like in the middle of that, and had like the big sulfur dunes around them. But it's like a very limited space, and that's why the set looks the way it does.
Yeah, as I recall from like that first scene, there's like a lot of low level shots where the cameraman is like looking up at the actor. I feel like they did that just so they wouldn't like capture any of the like machinery or like wooded areas like around the sulfur pile.
They probably filmed this entire thing on like a sunny day and in one of the dips in the
Oh yeah,
sulfur.
yeah. There are images shared on the Discord of the sulfur pile,
Uh-huh.
the famous Vancouver sulfur pile.
It's not very big. Like it's just kind
No.
of.
Yeah, that's why I said that like any slightly wrong shot and you get something in it.
That definitely explains all of the below ground shots aiming upwards towards the actors, because they definitely didn't want to show anything else.
Yeah. So for as fun as I imagine that day of shooting was for everyone involved, I will commend them for the creativity and looking around the southern British Columbia area for anything that could look like an alien environment.
For anything that doesn't look like another forest.
Yeah. Oh, we will get to the rock quarry. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we got what, like 5 to 6 episodes in a row where they're wandering around the woods of what is it, British Columbia. So a little change of scene is nice.
A later episode, I'm pretty sure, happens in a different area of that forest in British Columbia, so that's nice.
Oh,
Also, they're still in British Columbia. They're just in like probably actual Vancouver or like one of the neighboring suburbs for the entirety of this episode.
Yes. So yeah. So O'Neill gets zapped. A fake O'Neill happens. Doesn't seem really sure what's going on, but then just falls back through the gate and acts unusual, which doesn't raise any
Yeah.
red flags for anyone.
Yeah, no one notices at all. Everyone's basically just terrible at realizing whether or not O'Neill has been
I feel like
replaced.
people are pretty good at recognizing that he's acting weird, but
he like turns into serial killer Jack O'Neill. Let's be honest.
I mean, they mistake it as him being like sad about his son, because the clone more or less goes into his locker and is looking at a bunch of photos to figure out like, how can I help this man that I think I might have killed.
yeah.
I mean, I
when
guess
some-
that's like
when-
a spoiler, but whatever.
if you're
I mean, no, this is.
I mean, when you're at work, especially if you're working in some place where everybody has a lot of stuff to do, like presumably a military base. I'm gonna retract that in a moment. It's pretty easy to see, like, for people to just like get out of someone's way and not think about what they might be doing. Like, if you're running around a workplace, you're trying your best to think about yourself and the thing you're doing, and if somebody else is acting slightly weird, whatever. So yeah, I can see that, especially since he doesn't really interact with anybody.
He interacts with a couple of people. He interacts with Connor, and I think he's got a great interaction with Teal'c.
Oh yeah, it's a real
That's
fun moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
Straight
That
up like
said,
cold shoulder.
yeah. That said, my understanding of military bases is that a lot of people actually don't have anything to do on a military base 99% of the time.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
also, I've never been in the military.
me like being on military bases for like construction projects has definitely given me that impression as well.
That just like no one cares.
I mean, they care if you go into areas that you're not supposed to, but other than that, they're just kind of like hanging around, doing their own thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, I will say that after the caveman incident, they really should like be a bit on edge about anyone acting weird coming through the Stargate, or just doing like blood samples or physicals after they come back from a mission? Anything?
Yeah, but you know, they're bad at their job, so they didn't. And now we have an alien on the loose in Colorado.
And Colorado Springs in air quotes. That isn't just Vancouver.
Yeah, definitely not Vancouver. But yeah,
Yeah.
what was your favorite part about Teal'c getting the cold shoulder? Was it the sad face he made, or was it how he sounded like something cool was going to happen and then was immediately disappointed?
I had to be the facial expression.
It's like, I would like to see your world next time. Ooh.
Yeah. He has another great scene in this show where
Oh, the B plot. Yes.
yeah, he turns on the television, he's just like flipping through the channels. It's like news, war, death, famine, destruction, you know, the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Then Jackson and Carter
Yeah.
run in.
Yeah, yeah.
And Teal'c, I think he goes, your planet is strange. And then with the comedic timing, Jackson goes, so's yours. Anyway. Or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know what he's talking about, but yeah, it's definitely. I mean, if you were an alien and you were flipping through today's news, you would think that we were on the edge of an apocalypse.
Yeah, but that's
I mean,
every
yeah.
era. Like if you look hard enough, especially if you're just turning on like specific news networks are always just doom and gloom. It doesn't matter like what era you're
Yeah,
in.
I know. That's the point.
Yeah. But I mean, that's more or less the B plot, right? Which don't get me wrong, I love the B plot of this episode. Just like the constant shenanigans with Teal'c and Daniel Jackson and Carter, them tricking him into blowing up the crystal without permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Jackson and Carter are experimenting on crystals they brought back. And they have Teal'c do a test blast of a staff weapon in the gate room on it.
Yeah.
It freaks out General Hammond. He's like, "You got permission for this, right?" And then it's like, see ya."
You get
Just
there's some real
standing there.
tone whiplash happening here, between like funny hijinks and this crystal man figuring out or coming to understand what death means, and like sitting on a bed, rocking back and forth, holding a pillow, and I don't think he had tears or anything, but
Having a bad time, let's say, living O'Neill's life.
he's definitely like, oh hey, mortality actually kind of sucks.
Well, because also like all the other crystal people had been massacred by the Gould at some point in the past.
Yeah, like so they
Yeah.
technically know what death is, but not like they didn't understand that. I guess they didn't understand the way humans die or something.
Yeah, because squishy meat, animals.
I guess they didn't understand the concept of someone accidentally killing themselves with a gun.
Yeah, so this episode does go back to O'Neill's backstory, where his kid, who's now Charlie,
Yeah.
so completely retconned, having accidentally killed himself before the movie. And I guess O'Neill just hadn't been dealing with it. His wife had divorced him at some point between the movie and the pilot, and he just hadn't done any processing of the grief. And so the Crystal Man goes, finds the ex-wife, and then does the processing of the grief for him, I guess.
Yeah. Which, you know, sure, that's something, I guess.
I mean, O'Neill still hasn't processed the grief, though, but I guess it helps the ex-wife process some of the grief, though she does get traumatized pretty severely.
I mean, she gets traumatized immediately when he shows up and he's like, where's, what's his kid's name? Daniel?
Charlie.
Charlie, like, where's Charlie? And it's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I feel like the way this episode sets up the thing it really wants to set up is kind of weird, because if someone showed up in that state, very clearly, like, obviously, if I were that woman or her grandfather, I wouldn't know that it was actually a crystal being. But the way it was acting is very much like not in
Like mental health episode.
the way Crystal O'Neill was acting was very much not in his right mind. I mean, obviously it's a crystal thing, but they wouldn't know that. I would probably think whoever it was had cracked entirely, and I'd be contacting the police or somebody to come pick him up and take him to a facility where he won't hurt himself.
Yeah, like doing something.
I mean, that's a little harsh.
Not the
Like,
cops, but like
or
doing
yeah.
something.
Don't
Yeah,
invite that person into your house, and
I don't know. So you say that, but these were people that at one point were family, right? So, and the biggest complaint
Yeah.
with even in the movie isn't that like he was dangerous or whatever. It was that he became like completely distant and turned himself off. So for anything, like they could be thinking like, well, maybe like it just took a long time for him to like process this, and this is him trying to go through it. You know, if it's someone you cared about, like that's not something you could just easily turn away, right? And in this instance, it's not. It's a freaking crystal alien, right? But they don't know that.
Well, they don't know it until he starts becoming a radiation hazard.
Even then,
Yeah.
they don't know it. It's that they don't know it until like baby baby
And,
Phil shows
until
up.
until the kid
Yeah,
walks out. Yeah,
which let me tell you, kind of fucked up, but
super
whatever.
fucked up.
I was gonna ask, like, that particular scene. I know we're fast forwarding some, but like the very end of this, the crystal guy turns into O'Neill's kid, and then O'Neill walks out holding that kid's hand to his ex-wife. And the show kind of treats that as like a favor to the ex-wife. And I was sitting there thinking, as someone who has had family members die not too long ago, I was thinking if something along those lines happened, I'd be pissed. I don't know how other people feel about that.
It'll be
Yeah,
extremely fucked up.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
no
I
doubt.
mean, this whole thing's fucked up. Like, really, this is like a weird episode in the sense that it's kind of like if you look at it, if you're squinting at it, this is kind of like an O'Neill character development episode, except it's not the real O'Neill.
Yeah, because O'Neill like wakes up after like a few hours and comes back through the gate like being belligerent.
Yeah, which confuses everyone in the base.
Oh yeah. They
Like,
they don't
wait,
catch on immediately that oh crap, the guy who left was crap.
yeah.
They do the right thing. I think the base does the right thing when O'Neill comes back. They were like, okay, who is this? We don't know what this person is. We need to like hold him in case it's like a clone or some trick or something.
And they do figure out pretty quickly that he's the real O'Neill because he acts like the real O'Neill.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
That
acts like an
and
asshole.
well, that and the Dr. Fraser there actually administers an exam like you would expect them to do in real life and concludes this is the real Jack O'Neill. I don't know who the other guy was.
Because they should have done physicals when they come back through the gate. But they'll get there eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But the real victim is that kid that played Charlie. Because, fun fact, that boy would grow up to star in Scary Movie.
Wait, which scary movie? Because the first scary movie is like coinciding with this.
So the actor's name was Kyle Graham. When I punched his name into IBDM or whatever it's called,
IMDb.
yeah, I came up with Scary Movie.
Oh yeah. Who did he play in Scary Movie?
I think he was one.
Oh no, he was just an extra in Scary Movie.
No, I think he was a.
Trick or
Was
Treater number 2. That's an extra.
oh no! Here I thought I had this jewel of an insight, but I guess not.
It happens to the best of us.
Happens to
I'm so
everyone.
disappointed.
Yeah. You know what? The more I think about this episode, the weirder I think it is because this is this is more or less not. It's not an O'Neill episode for character growth. It's a Sarah O'Neill episode for character growth, and I don't think she ever appears again.
She sure
She
doesn't.
doesn't.
So it's kind of like, is this like writing her out of like? Yeah, no, she's not coming back. This is them coming to terms that their relationship is over at the
Yeah.
end of the whole thing, right?
It was them tying up another plot point from the movie. So, like with Kowalski, kill him off. Ferretti, get rid of him. O'Neill's tragic backstory. Let's just wrap that up and get it over with. Well, like the only thing that really is holdover from the movie is Skara and Shaw Ray's story.
Yeah, which I'm sure they wrap up eventually, but well, we're not anywhere near there yet. So
That
Right.
seems like the kind of plot point they hold on to till like near the end of the show or something.
It takes a few
you'd be
seasons.
surprised. But yeah, I don't know. I like the bits with Crystal O'Neill and Sarah O'Neill. I think they're good, even if a little weird when you like realize the reality of the situation. But
Yeah, like the pathos works.
yeah, honestly, I just think everyone does a very good job in every scene that they're in this episode. Like Teal freaking kills it. Sarah kills it. Crystal Jack kills it.
I mean, yeah,
Real
Richard
Jack
Dean
kills it.
Anderson playing two very, very different roles in this one episode is pretty good.
Yeah, and one of them's not MacGyver for once.
Okay. And this kind of episode is a gag that Star Trek pulls a lot, or pulled a lot in the '90s. This is a very standard episode type by that metrics, and this is not the cringiest this kind of episode has been when talking about '90s sci-fi. So good for them.
Yeah, I don't think anything really comes off as cringy anyways. I think it all comes out pretty like genuine for the most part.
Speaking of Star Trek, one of the things I've come to realize is this it really is. It feels very Star Trek-ish right now. In just let's go to a planet and do a thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
Does it differentiate itself a lot more as time goes on, or does its budget ever catch up to Star Trek?
So second question, no. First question, once they build out the lore and give time for all the alien stuff to bring back to have an effect, and for the SGC to expand its mission, it does get its own identity. Right, Tyler? Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Kind of as I've gone back and like watched, this like first season, it really does feel like there's a clear line of discernment between season 1, season 2, and season 3.
It does build its own identity over time. It
Yeah.
starts from the baseline of Planet of the Week Star Trek Adventures, but then they figure out what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they do, then they're cooking with gas, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Quick question: what did you all think of Teal'c's insistence of bringing his weapon with him to Colorado?
A really good way of calling back to the previous scene.
Yeah, no, it was a fun payoff to the setup.
Yeah,
you should explain what that joke is.
Oh, yeah, because he was flipping through the news and saw all of the rioting and death and destruction and chaos on the news. He was like, "This place is dangerous. I need a weapon."
Yeah,
and instead he gets a hat.
Oh, right, it's a Chicago Cubs hat. What's it in?
It was some sort of sports team.
The hat just said Chicago, and when he looks at it, he goes, "Chicago, the Windy City, home of the Blackhawks, the Bulls, and the White Sox." And then Neil just chimes in, "And the Cubs."
And I actually have a note here in all caps. They didn't mention the Bears.
Well, yeah, the Bears suck.
Right.
Like, when was the last time the Bears did anything worthwhile for you to remember them?
Look, the 1985 Chicago Bears. Okay, no, I'm not getting into it.
Wrong podcast.
It's the wrong podcast. But I do like how they just casually Chernobyl an entire hospital, like the hospital in Colorado Springs.
Yeah,
that has to be a lot to clean up.
Yeah, all while Sarah O'Neill's probably like flipping the hell out. It's like, is my separated husband about to explode? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, is my ex-husband about to explode? And then like her dead kid shows up. That's like a really bad day for Sarah O'Neill.
So in the Crystal O'Neill's defense, he kept saying that he needed to go back to the Stargate. So clearly something was up.
Yeah, it just he didn't realize that no one knew what the Stargate was.
Yeah, he just assumed everyone knew what the Stargate was.
That was another plot point that kind of confused me. When this alien zapped O'Neill, he was able to get enough of his knowledge to know who like Charlie was, but he really didn't seem to get any other knowledge of like human interaction or Neil's past.
Probably just like a surface level scan. And because the trauma he just carries the trauma with him constantly. That's as well as at the surface. Look, go watch the pilot episode of Star Trek DS9.
Do I have to?
Actually, it's not a bad episode.
there's a similar gag with the fourth dimensional aliens in that episode.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to interact with Cisco, who hasn't gotten over the death of his wife, and then the aliens appear as his wife, and they're like, "Hey, who's this, and why are you always thinking about this person?" And yeah,
It is kind of funny because I guess like the crystal alien's intention was to heal him because he sensed that O'Neill was damaged, but he just didn't realize like why he was damaged. It's like it's not that he needed Jack to heal him. It was that because what's his son's name again? I keep forgetting.
Charlie.
Okay, it wasn't that he needed to see Charlie to heal him. It's that because Charlie's no longer there, there's a void there that he can't fill.
yes, it's emotional damage, which the
Yeah.
crystal alien didn't have a concept for.
And then he follows it up by emotionally damaging him more.
Yes.
Surprise! I'm your son now.
At least Crystal O'Neill forces real O'Neill to actually talk to his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Again. Because imagine he has to sit her down and go through the whole NDA thing with her after that.
Probably. I guess what's your all's overall thoughts about this episode? Did you like it? Hate it? Middling? I kind of liked it.
I recognize that it was good. Oh, you go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say I think all four of these episodes are at least good. I don't think any of them are necessarily great.
Yeah, I would say this one would be a skip for me if I was ever going to do like a short run through of season 1 again. There's better episodes on the way.
Yeah, and this has always been a skip for me. This type of episode of let's have this actor play his character out of character. That again is a staple of sci-fi television of this era. I've never liked this episode type in any show. So I just don't want to. So I always skip this episode.
So you don't want to deal with the emotional impact of the son being dead?
Well, no, just like the actors playing out of character in ways that are supposed to be uncanny. It's like nah.
It's also like once you've seen something like this, you've seen everything like this. I think this episode does it pretty well. But the other thing I want to say for me personally, I watched this episode on a second monitor while playing Elden Ring on my primary monitor. That's the perfect way to watch an episode like this.
Oh wow.
Because you don't really, I watched it, I paid attention to it, I got everything from it. But like, I think I'd have been kind of bored if I was watching only this episode.
Gotta lock in.
Yeah. I mean, the only redeeming quality of this episode is just the sheer amount of vintage Tilk quotes we got from it.
There's a lot of really good ones.
Yeah.
Really, just every scene with Teal'c in this episode is good.
Yeah. What is a Stanford? Brilliant.
Yeah, and then everyone's just used to it by now. They're like, we'll tell you later.
Yeah.
So a couple of notes from me. Freddy still has a locker. Because Freddy's locker is next to O'Neill's locker. Just wanted to point that out.
What does it say his name on the locker?
Yeah, it says Freddy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good eye, Borgmaster.
It could be a different Freddy.
I mean, how many Freddy's do they have there? That's the real
It's not
question.
an uncommon name.
And then also at the end, just a small thing that always makes me chuckle when they're evacuating the hospital. That scene, and there's like a bunch of extras, running around, doing bits of business. There's a doctor trying to get a guy in a wheelchair off the sidewalk onto the road, and just like kind of gingerly tries to like get the wheelchair like over this curb. And it's like, really, they couldn't find an ADA compliant section of this sidewalk to do this scene on. I just thought that was a funny little thing.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this episode just to catch those two call outs you mentioned.
I mean, I just always like watching the extras do bits of business in the back. All right, so on to, unless anyone has anything else to say.
Not really. I think we covered it. I think this is a good episode, but it's not like, I don't think it's the best of the bunch, but I think it's good.
So one thing I just saw in my notes, this entire time we've been calling them the crystal aliens. Once in the episode, they actually refer to themselves as the Unity.
Oh,
And
right.
in my own headcanon, this is the same Unity from the Rick and Morty universe.
Ugh.
Just think about it.
Okay. I won't. And now we're moving on to episode 7, The Nox. We get I would say a main plot episode. After a bunch of planets of the week. Now this seems like a planet of the week, but it's a main plot episode. Surprise.
I would argue there are 2 main plot episodes in this bunch.
There are, and we'll get to the other one later. But like before this, like everything from Kowalski dying up to like this one were all Planet of the Week stuff. But now we're back on the main plot. Apophis is out there. Earth needs alien technology. The Senate is like, we're spending how much money on this? And it's all coming together. And also Teal has just knows like a random little factoid. He's like, oh yeah, I think I know what of a planet we could go to.
Mm.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how invisibility helps you defend from, like spaceships with giant laser guns, but
It would absolutely help with sneaking around, stealthing around things.
Yeah, it's more of like an attack thing than a defensive thing, I would say.
Yeah, like
But
if you were to insert a small strike team or something along those lines into a spaceship of some sort.
Wait. So inserting a small strike team into a Gould spaceship. Tell me more about this
Yeah.
idea.
And if you could make them invisible while they were there, that would be incredibly useful.
They probably would not take as many losses. Anyway, so high level summary. The Secretary of Defense wants some real alien technology for all the money that's being spent. So I was like, oh, I think I know a place. They go to that place. They're space hippies, so I guess are the Fae. I think that's the analogy there.
some
they're
sort of druid.
Yeah, some kind of druidic Fae people.
I feel like a fairy. I feel like a fairy group
Fae.
is better. Is a better analogy.
The Fae, because they make things invisible and are illusionists. Apophis is also there because he likes to go hunting for the invisible stuff on that planet. Everyone frags each other. Everyone gets healed by these Fae people called the Nox. They're space hippies. They don't like violence. Violence happens around them anyway. They're like, everyone just leave, and then they send everyone back to the Stargate to their planets. They're like, oh, by the way, we're actually just the local caretakers of the Stargate. This is actually a huge advanced civilization over there that you can't go to.
I thought that was a good reveal.
So that's the episode in a nutshell.
Yeah, that reveal at the end is pretty cool, I think.
And also very important. Remember that reveal.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think, what are these people called? The Nox?
The Nox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I get the whole pacifist thing, but honestly, they're kind of dumb.
They're very stubborn about it.
Like super stubborn about it. Like this whole episode is basically them trying to get both sides to more or less realize that there's another way. When any amount of just actually like interacting with the people, you would basically know, hey, one of these peoples are trying to capture someone. The other one just shot a child. Like,
I mean,
I
even
don't know.
before that, like with when that I think his name was Shackle or Shekel.
Shackles.
Shackle.
Or Shackle.
Yeah,
Which
he
is,
he stabs the woman. Yeah, and then they have to revive her. Like kind of after that would happen, maybe you would assume, hey, maybe these people can't be reasoned with, and they're just kind of violent by nature.
There's some real 90s idealism happening here.
This is very 90s in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's annoying, like, but it is like, it's definitely like, you guys got to understand that at some point your invisibility actually won't help you as much as you think it will, right?
I mean, the invisibility is like the first line of defense, probably, because they have that floating sci-fi city off in the distance. Like they probably
Yeah.
do stuff, they just don't want to. They just don't want to get involved with the lower species.
Yeah, like basically these people are pacifists, and they have the technology to back up their pacifism, I guess. But I don't know.
And like this family in the woods are like just the caretakers of like this area with the Stargate on it, and to
Yeah.
like turn around anyone who tries to come through.
I should also note this episode. I mean, I know I called it idealistic just now. It's also very much. It's basically a fairy tale, like from the callbacks to like the Nox basically being, invisible forest creatures that are really peaceful and can heal you from death and stuff. All the way up to the moral of the story at the end, it feels very much like it's trying to be a bit of a children's fairy tale thing, which is a thing you can do, I guess. There's a lot more fantasy happening in this show than I thought there would be.
I guess the way I see it, because they are going and trying to throw every ancient human belief system onto other planets and different alien cultures. It's like, yeah, the Fae, the forest spirits, are like not evil aliens like the Gould. They're just out here doing their thing. That's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah, but like, what is their thing?
Their
Excuse me, what is their thing?
their thing is none of our business apparently.
And
Turning invisible and casting raise dead, apparently.
yeah, like they're just kind of hanging around, raising the dead whenever it happens to happen. So it's kind of like, okay, sure.
And again, we don't know what's going on in their floating city.
Yeah,
They don't want us to know what's going on. We're too stupid and violent for them, so they'd rather we just fuck off.
basically. I guess that's basically that. Like this episode is like, get off my lawn, right?
Yeah, with Apophis running around in the forest, with them.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, like we don't want you to get blood on our lawn, so just don't shoot anyone, don't stab anyone.
I do want to know how they convinced Apophis to leave.
They
Because at the end of the
probably.
show, they're like, yeah, I've already showed Apophis where the Stargate is, and he already left.
I don't think Apophis went willingly.
It was probably more like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air style, where they just kind of yeeted him like through the doorway.
Probably something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other point I wanted to point out: Apophis only had like 2 to 3 guards with him.
Yeah, 3 guys
In
with them.
in the movie, Ra only had like 2 to 3 guards. Like I get like real world, you can only have so many extras, but what is it with these Gaul gods and traveling light?
So I've put some thought into it. I think Raw was slumming it when they offed him in the movie. Like I think they mentioned at some point in like an offhanded line that he had fallen as a system lord. So he was probably just slumming it on one of his like backwater mining colonies, and didn't have that many guys with him.
Apophis thought he was going to be wandering around a forest with nothing particularly dangerous around.
Yeah, like he's probably just like that's just like his hunting party he took with him. Like
And
he was
also,
he's going on a royal hunt.
another thing I want to point out, almost all of the civilizations that Apophis visits are purposefully kept like roughly medieval technology-wise. When you and a couple of guys are carrying around rocket launchers, basically, you don't really need a bunch of people. Because those staffs make explosions and loud noises, and they seem to have unlimited ammo.
Yeah, like when you go whenever you go, everyone thinks you're a god with ultimate power. Like you're not gonna be too concerned after a while. You're only concerned when you're beefing turf with other
And
guys like yourself.
And also, I think we pointed out last time. I think it's kind of weird that they only send four people through the Stargate at a time.
Yeah, no, that is again the problem and solution to everything going on here. And also, like, just as a show, like if they had like a 10-person squad, like keeping track of everyone would be something, especially when they're all wearing uniforms and all that. It does get tricky from like just a show running perspective.
Yeah.
It's also possible Apophis brought more people along and some of them got lost.
Or he sent them off like in like their own separate party in a different direction.
Yeah. Oh, we should point out this is the first squad wipe of the series.
Oh, right.
Well, not an
Yeah.
entire squad wipe. Teal'c doesn't die. Everyone else does, though.
Teal keeps trying to die and doesn't.
Yeah.
He basically stands there and says, I can take it, and then he gets swooped away by the Nox.
Well, Apophis was trying to savor the kill, but I see your point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is the first use of what I'm calling the Master Chief Overshield Apophis has.
Oh,
It's just,
right.
it's like, by the way, I have this invisible field around me that stops projectiles that go over a certain velocity.
It's more of a Dune shield.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's more of a Dune shield.
I've never seen Dune, so I'm going with Master Chief from Halo.
Okay, so the shields in Dune, they block projectiles. They block anything moving fast, but slow weapons, like if you swing a knife slowly or something, it'll get through the shield. Which is why you have knife fights and sword fights, and why melee weapons are still important in Dune.
Yes, and spoiler for later, for later episode, I suppose.
Oh, is there a knife fight against Apophis in a later episode?
I think Horus gets a knife through the. Okay, now.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Yeah.
who Horus is yet.
Whoopsie.
It's fine.
Yeah, the Horus Heresy.
Yes, the Horus
Yes.
Heresy.
There you
Is
go.
that the
That's
second time I've
exactly
made this joke for this fucking podcast?
Probably.
There is no joke too nerdy for the podcast. Speaking of nerd references, Armin Shimmerman is one of the space hippies here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
That guy's in
Armin
like
Shimmerman.
Yeah. When I saw him, I was like, I know this guy. Like, he's in like a lot of shit.
He's Quark.
Isn't he? Yeah, he's fucking Quark. Just
He's
without
literally
all the
Quark.
fucking makeup.
Yeah, and just like and playing it down, like being mellow,
Yeah.
as opposed to being Quark.
Yeah, Quark is like the opposite of mellow. But, he does a really good job in this episode being a guy who just refuses to realize, these guys are like literally enslaving people. Like, there's just, come on, man.
He realizes, but he doesn't care.
Yeah,
Is
that's
the
the
thing.
thing that he does, basically. For me, like, the Nox are just frustrating. That's all. At least in this episode.
Well, they do show up again one or two more times, and they continue to be frustrating.
Mm.
That's their whole deal.
Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
call me Zap Brannigan, and I hate the neutrals. It is what it is.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. This is the first time they show that shield, and Teal'c does mention that he's never seen it before, right?
Yeah, that's a new thing they have.
Yeah.
he also busts out the roofie glove, I believe.
Oh
Yeah, I mean, that's what
when
it's attached to, right? Isn't it just like a dial on it that he touches, or was it like a separate?
Yeah. I got on the back of it. He has a thing he presses.
Yeah, he added a new setting. It's like this one makes it so I can't get shot in the face, which might come up later.
Yeah, and he does a gauntlet. So there's a kid Nox, and he does gauntlet the kid because the kid gets curious about what's up with the.
What? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he just straight up murders a child. Like it
Oh yeah.
doesn't try to kidnap him, doesn't try to get information out of him. The kid says his name and that he's not afraid, and then the next scene is just like they find the kid's corpse. It's like, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. One ridiculous thing about this episode that is probably more ridiculous than anything else, but the item never gets used all that well, so we don't really think about it much. O'Neill makes a bow and arrow with a knife. All their weapons get taken away by the Nox while they're out and getting resurrected. So O'Neill just like gets some dead wood from somewhere and just makes a perfect bow and arrow in like 30 minutes.
Well, he gets Carter and Daniel to help him. But yeah, no,
yeah,
they make.
But
they,
you can't.
Yes, no, they put together.
That's not how that works.
A perfect functioning bow and arrow, like an hour. Yes,
And a couple of arrows, and also they're perfect archers.
Oh well, I mean O'Neill is the one who has the bow and arrow.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, do they cover making like bows like in the special forces? Like, is that
No.
like a real thing?
Oh,
No.
Let's just assume he was in the Boy Scouts and it's fine. You
For
know,
one, making a good bow and arrow, if you're just making it out of wood, it takes. That's my understanding is that's kind of a master craftsman sort of thing, and it
Yep.
takes a really long time to do.
Yep.
And also, actually using a bow and arrow is one of those things that takes, if you want to use it well enough to fight with it, takes years of practice.
Yep. It is pretty silly.
yeah, but he's a military man. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's a Neil.
Like English longbowmen were very valuable because it took so long to get one, both the bow and the person.
Although it would have been hilarious if like O'Neill like shot Apophis in the ass with it. I'm just gonna be honest.
That would have been perfect.
I mean,
yeah.
he was on mark. It's just the Nox intervened, right? Like he would have basically
Yeah.
yeeted that guy.
He would have hit Apophis if the Nox hadn't intervened.
But was he even trying to kill Apophis, or did he just put the
No, there's a trank on there.
Yeah, he had the trank dart on there. Like that's the funny thing too. Like they saw what he had. It's like this isn't going to kill Apophis. It's just going to knock him the hell out. So just I don't know.
Yeah, that was the point. And also, like, the gold change a person's, like, they enhance, like, a person's healing and strength and so on. Or the host healing and strength and so on. Like, how could they even be assured a tranquilizer dart would actually work?
They didn't. It's just that's what they had on them when they encountered.
But also like they
Apophis.
brought that thing to capture the giant thing. So like for all intents and purposes, that thing had enough trank in it to take out an elephant, probably, right? So I think they do mention that in the episode. Like that's
we've
basically
barely
like,
even mentioned the flying wasps that appear like twice.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, like
or
the
not
reason they go
important.
there is to
The Fenry, I believe it was called.
yeah.
Yeah, which are implied to be intelligent, but
Are they intelligent or are they just like big flying things that the Nox don't want people to hunt?
that's
It's
probably
the
it. Do they
latter.
actually even show them? Like I don't think they actually
Yes.
show them.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
show
so
it
yeah,
twice.
O'Neill shoots at one.
Yeah, it's some bad
Yeah.
CG.
Yeah,
I thought it was like an
Surprise.
invisible one though. Like
It's
It's
the
actually
Nox
invisible.
that's turning them invisible.
yeah. There's
Okay.
they show one that the Nox turned invisible. That you just see like a halo invisibility shimmer.
Well, no, there's one that decloaks
And-
at one point.
Yeah, later on there's one that decloaks and seems like it's going to attack O'Neill, but it winds up just flying away after O'Neill shoots at it. And then at the end of the episode, we see one flying across the screen while they uncloak the floating city off in the distance.
yeah, and that's more them saying like, you know, don't worry about us, we'll be fine. We got this.
And we'll learn more as to why they're confident they'll be fine in later episodes.
But yeah, I bet the Secretary of Defense was pissed off.
Yeah, all right. So the opening with the Secretary of Defense, where he's like, "We have nothing to show for this in terms of material gains, and this costs a lot of money." And I was like, "Well, what about the exploration of it all?" And then I don't know what the line is exactly, but it was when we went to the moon, we brought back moon rocks, and we haven't been back to the moon in 25 years.
The moon mission did so much more than just bring back moon rocks for everybody, including the U.S. military.
Yeah, but so for one thing, 25 years since the last moon mission. Whew. Second thing, basically what. So I think they're touching on the political climate in the 90s. There were a bunch of public arguments going on as to the utility of NASA and should we really be funding NASA this much? Like, what is NASA even doing with this money? That was, I think, one of the political footballs in the 90s was, do we even need this NASA thing anyway? And that's what I think they're like what they're analogizing here.
But
Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
maybe. I think this whole plot point is kind of ridiculous because if this were a real thing, and the U.S. military was sending like small teams into various Stargate coordinates to find out what's on the other side, as soon as that Stargate team comes back, at least in real life, the U.S. military would be like, "All right, let's go set up shop," and they would absolutely see value in basically infinite resources going to different planets and just doing some shit.
Yeah, and that does go back to the 90s of this all, because this is like because we're all looking at it from like the post George Bush era.
I mean, yeah, but even in the 90s, that would have been the attitude from anyone in power. We're gonna go there. We're gonna, regardless of the locals, regardless of what's happening, we're gonna figure out what resources we can mine, and we're gonna get them.
Yeah, I
and
feel like the United States wasn't quite there yet, but they definitely were on their way. So yeah,
because the 90s was the era of military downsizing in the US,
Mm.
which is hard for us to think about.
I was about to say that's hard to fathom now.
Yeah. And don't forget, like early on in the decade, we had the Gulf War, which
Was hugely unpopular.
it was hugely unpopular, but it was also like very successful for the coalition. It's like it was way overmatched. It's like, do we really need to spend all that money to have that same effect?
Yeah, and again, like Big Willie definitely eased down the military budget throughout his administration. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of military downsizing going on. That was like a hot topic of the era. The Gulf War was very unpopular, and in retrospect, at the time, yeah, everyone likes a nice, easy victory. You know, I mean, like Three Kings came out in the late '90s, right? Like people were real down about this stuff. I don't know why I referenced Three Kings, but I just did.
Yeah.
I mean it's topical with what we're talking about, so I wouldn't feel bad about referencing it.
And I guess just as kind of a Stargate lore thing, at this point, they must have a couple of those staff weapons that Tilk used. The Secretary of Defense is complaining about not having any new thing to fight with. You now have access to energy-based weapons. What more could you ask for?
They
Yeah,
just want more fentanyl.
I would
More
also
fentanyl.
assume that
More
they
fentanyl.
I would also assume that they had dragged at least some of the gobbled corpses back and could look at like armor or something, because
What
they even
armor?
killed a couple of them in the first episode.
Yeah, but is their armor really useful? Like it's got so many openings. Like
Well,
Well, they could, or maybe the hand. Did any of the people they killed have one of those Apophis, the roofie glove?
Only the big cheeses
Which,
have those.
as we find out later, apparently can also heal.
yeah, we'll get
Oh
to
well,
that.
no. See, that's a different device entirely.
Oh, it is? I didn't
Okay.
know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I know, this episode's fine. I don't like it as much as the last one, but I don't know. It's more so because I don't like the Nox, just in general.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
all right.
agreeable.
My only production note is that Teal'c is wearing a digital watch in this episode, which I think is very funny.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's been long enough that he might have purchased one or feel it's interesting. By the way, how does Tilt get paid?
Does he get paid? He gets paid in room
Does
and board.
does he have a concept of getting paid? Like, did they give him a social security number?
I mean, he was a slave soldier for his entire life.
Yeah, did they?
Basically a Mameluke.
I'm sure they give him some sort of thing to spend money on. Like he's probably got a pension now. It's all good.
Like, do they give him like? So if the military hires him, is he an independent contractor? Is actually hold up. So Daniel's a civilian. Is he an independent contractor?
I would say he's a civilian contractor.
I thought they made Daniel like a sergeant or major or something towards the
No.
beginning of the show.
No, I don't think he has a rank.
He has no rank. He's a contractor.
Wait, what about this? If Tilk has an organism in him that keeps him in perfect health, does he need or deserve vet benefits?
Does Teal qualify for TRICARE?
No, so this is what it actually is, right? So he's got the full military package, including benefits. But if he asks for that money back, they say no. You get the benefits. Doesn't matter if you're immune to disease. You get the benefits. That's what the union paid for. We fought for that. You get the benefits.
Wait, so that means Teal'c also gets the scholarship assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, after he
think-
does his term of service.
Do you think Teal'c would eventually go to college? Is that something that happens?
No, sadly.
Oh, it'd be pretty good if he did, though.
Yeah.
Gets his degrees in like humanities.
I wish to learn more about the Cubans.
There's some jokes later in the series. All right, so there's all kinds of logistical questions around how they're doing things with the SGC.
So I actually have a lore / production note from this episode.
Ooh.
So the thing on Teal'c's forehead, it's like actually gold, and it's there to identify him as Apophysis First Prime.
Yep.
But I looked at the other Jaffa that were with Apophis, and they all like had the same thing.
I thought
on their forehead.
Shackle who had it. Did the other ones have it?
Yeah. To me, it looked like the others had it, just like Shekel.
I thought it was just Shackle because he replaced Teal'c.
I mean, right. Well, you're correct. Shekel replaced Teal'c, but when I looked at the other Jaffa, it looks like they had the exact same thing.
I didn't notice. I didn't see that. Well, I'll have to check that.
I wasn't paying any attention.
You were too busy. Which boss in Elden Ring were you fighting?
Okay, so because I'm watching the DVD copies, this is actually the episode I watched today. Oh yeah, I was playing Elden Ring for a bit before taking a nap, but I don't think I fought any bosses. Kind of just ran around killing things. Anyway, we should probably move to the next episode fairly soon.
Yeah.
Not that there's much to talk about in Brief Candle.
This episode is kind of like the one I would say there's the least to talk about. The next one, also not too much to talk about, except for like one very important glaring thing.
There's a lot of lore
bring up immediately.
in the last episode.
Yeah.
Well, not the last episode. We still got the one with the Roman people.
All right, yeah.
Greek.
So episode 8, Brief Candle. They go to the planet that makes you old. O'Neill gets old. They find out why he's getting old, and then they correct it.
Yep. Also known as the one where O'Neill becomes a sex offender.
Yes, because he has sex with a woman who's only 30 days old.
I mean, days to clarify.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll be clarifying, but like these people live 100 days. They are born, and like a day later, they're a year old. The next day, they're 2 years old, and so on and so forth. So this person is supposedly 30 years old in this time frame, but it's listen. There's a whole lot of like weirdness happening here.
There's a lot of weird
look, listen, she's a 3,000-year-old vampire. She just looks like she's 12. It's fine.
I mean, the actress was definitely not. The actress
was like an adult. The actress was an adult.
It's not the anime podcast.
But yeah, so they go to a Mycenaean planet that worships some guy. Doesn't matter what his name is.
Pelops.
Pelops. They all everyone there are Greek, and they party all the time. And that's weird. O'Neill gets drugged and laid.
Yep.
By a 30-day-old woman. But no, she's 30 days old.
She's 30 days old at that point, not 31.
18, I swear
31 days old. Yeah. Daniel midwifes a child. This woman giving birth.
By the way,
gate room when they get there.
By the way, like the woman gives birth, and first off, Daniel takes off his gloves in the most unsanitary way possible. That's one of those things I noticed where, like, I am not a medical professional, but I do know that when medical professionals take the gloves off, there's a specific way they're supposed to do it where they don't touch the outer part of the glove. And then you're supposed to immediately wash your hands. And Daniel just takes off these bloody gloves and spends the next like 5 to 10 minutes talking to people clasping them in his hand, which is kind of funny.
He's not a medical doctor. He's like a history doctor. So,
Sure.
give him a break.
But also, this woman has her child, and then like 30 seconds later, she stands up and just runs around with it, and
which they do treat as weird in the moment, and it does make more sense as the things are revealed.
Yeah, and then Carter goes, "You really ought to be like resting," and she's like, "No, I'm fine."
And then we find out later why she's fine, and it does make sense eventually.
Yeah. So I guess the whole premise of what this like shitty gold guy did is that he wants to try to force human evolution.
Yeah,
by just having the life cycle go quicker.
Yeah, he's basically he speeds up the human life cycle to 100 days, so that he can observe evolution on a faster time scale. And then I guess at some point he just leaves and just leaves the experiment running.
He gets bored of his experiment. He's got this particular god has ADHD, I guess.
Or he got off by another Gould at some point.
Just has 1,000 projects going on and just completely forgets all of them.
I don't know about that, because it seems like the Gould have a history of colonizing a planet and then just leaving. Like back in the Broca Divide episode, they talked about, oh yeah, we have gods, but we haven't seen them in a very long time.
Yeah.
And also, Pelops could have been done in by a rival Gould, and then just hadn't turned off his experiment before that happened.
Yeah, there's like a lot of things that could have happened, but I mean, I'm not going to be like angry about like random planets that had the gold that have left, because really, you could always just take it as like they got everything they needed on this planet, and they're like, yeah, whatever. We don't need to take these slaves with us. Just leave them there. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the modus operandi for the Gould.
Basically. But yeah, I don't know. This planet's it's a cool concept. It's a shame it puts O'Neill on a list.
This episode gets to a point where it feels like they wrote a story for a 22-minute episode and they stretched it out to a 45-minute one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, this is a TNG episode. O'Neill could have been Riker, and he could have gone through this exact sequence of events, basically.
Yeah. I don't think it's uninteresting.
It's a neat high concept.
It also, much like the Nox, it spends a whole lot of time in 90s idealism land. Talking about how like you should spend your days well or something like that, and I find that mildly annoying. I think I was more annoyed by this episode than the Nox.
I'm gonna make you watch Voyager sometime. That's a threat.
You can't make me.
You can't make me watch anything. I'm sorry.
I will literally get to Threshold and stop, like I do every time. I'm like, nope.
Wait, Threshold isn't. Oh, that's not that. That's not the worst episode. Anyway,
I know it's not, but it's still really bad.
So yeah, and also the aging is done through nanomachines.
Yeah, nanomachines.
In everyone's blood.
Yeah.
Nanomachine, Snake. Nanomachine.
Oh, you stole my joke.
I do think it's funny that at the end of this episode they figure out how to turn off the nanomachines, and then like O'Neill's like, well, I guess I'm gonna go enjoy my retirement in Florida, and then Carter's like, yeah, we just need to wait like 2 weeks and you'll revert back to your original form. Like what that brings to mind, the question that brings to mind for me is, okay, cool, O'Neill's gonna revert. Are the rest of these people gonna revert to being like 0 to 100-day-old babies?
I hope not. There's some lines in there about how because O'Neill wasn't born with the nanomachines in him, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So the people that are there now, are they going to get to live longer lives, or
they basically start where they are?
That's what they implied. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, other question, somewhat unrelated. Where's all this food coming from?
I also have that note. Where is all this food coming from? Because they're on like this like crappy volcanic beach, like at the end of Death Stranding,
and they can never leave the village.
Yeah,
so where's like one of their rules?
I figured they would be explaining this. I figured they would explain this by just having a Goa'uld or something come through the Stargate with like a bunch of food and just leave it there and then turn around and leave again.
Or it's like replicators or something.
Or
like the Star Trek
or replicators. But no, they never explain this. Everybody has perfect clothing, perfect food, like a diet curated to be just the absolute perfection. They make a point of how literally everyone on this island is beautiful.
They're called the Chosen for a reason.
Yeah,
They're the Chosen.
and like, but maybe that's their evolution. They can just eat whatever and just stay perfectly beautiful, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, the whole idea is that they were pampered lab rats. But then, like,
Yeah.
where did the resources come from to pamper them?
Yeah.
No, that's something that they never bothered to deal with in the episode. It's like,
Yeah.
no, look, the whole point is that this is the planet that makes you old. Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing is like I'm pretty sure at some point a few of them were playing instruments. If you're only alive for what was it, like 100 days?
Well, yeah,
how do you
100
have enough
days.
time to learn to play an
Well,
instrument?
how do you have enough time to learn how to speak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode is uninterested in answering any of these questions. At a certain point, you just got to be like, well, if they have the technology to make roofie cakes, they could do whatever they want. It's fine.
So, like, this episode seems way more interested in, like, here is a fantasy world of, like, where everything is perfect. What's the one thing that's wrong? The thing that's wrong is everybody dies 100 days.
So I just had a thought.
Also, I'm sorry, I just had a thought as well, and I need to express it. If a year is a day, does that mean that pregnant woman had her child the evening, like, after having sex?
Probably.
Oh yeah. That brings in the whole question of gestation, because human beings, it takes 9 to 10 months.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It takes 9 months. It's like 9 months.
That's a lot of calories going into like creating a child. Does she just binge eat for a day?
Yeah, but if a year is
You're binge eating all day,
if a day is a year, if a day is a year, that means that she had sex and then the entire pregnancy process was experienced in a day, which, as a bunch of dudes, I don't think we can really say tons on the process, but that's gotta be painful.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, it explains why that population never died out, because literally, like, geez, like you could repopulate real freaking quickly if you needed to.
Yeah, you could just say, "Oh, we need." You could just pop up one morning and say, "Hey, we need to repopulate. We need like 5 more kids. Birth rate's going down a bit. So, like, volunteers today."
I mean, they're probably genetically tinkered with to like maintain a constant population level with fertility.
I mean, you could come up with all sorts of like explanations, like with like they were genetically tinkered with, but on some level, you're still talking about the entire pregnancy process happening in less than a day.
Yeah.
We clearly are putting more thought into this than the show writers did.
I mean, they probably had like a day to write this thing.
Yeah.
What do they do in that? It's all about seizing the day, and they seize that day to write this episode to teach you about seizing the day.
None of these technical details were the point of this episode. The point of this episode was like having characters talk about age and talk about the effect age has and talk about how you should do what you can with the time you have instead of sitting around watching 30-year-old television and shooting the shit about it with your friends on an internet podcast.
I mean, this is using the time that I have poorly.
I'm joking. Clearly, I'm joking. I wouldn't be doing anything better with my evening.
I don't know. This episode's so weird to me.
It's weird, but it's also like the most mid episode we've had. It's just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think it's the worst of this bunch, even though I really don't like the Nox. But that has more to do with, like, I feel like there's some weird character assassination of O'Neill here, but whatever.
Wait, character assassination? Because like Old Man O'Neill turns into like McCoy for some reason. Like,
I don't necessarily feel like there's character assassination. I I think O'Neill's going through some shit during the 2 weeks.
I don't know. I just
that
go back to
he-
that line where she says, "Are you gonna like live the rest of your life in what is it, abstinence?" And he says, "God, I hope not." It's like, you're just doubling down, aren't you? I guess you think you're about to die, so whatever. But like, man, he essentially turns into Master Roshi. Like that's what he does, right? He turns into the
O'Neill
old
turning
pervert.
into Master Roshi.
Yeah,
I could buy that.
he has this character arc where he becomes the wise old pervert that convinces everyone to break the statue, and I guess that's how they learn that this process can be stopped.
I clearly need to go back and watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Dragon Ball's pretty good as it turns out.
I do have it in my notes is that their old man makeup for him makes him look like a 90-year-old David Carradine. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
You can see like 90-year-old David Carradine in Kill Bill if you want to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was like 80 during those movies, wasn't he?
I have no idea. But that's just that's just the thought that went through my head.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
old man makeup.
Is this the
I
first
could-
time they do like proper quarantine procedures too?
Yeah, they're learning.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
finally learned.
And
Yeah.
it's not quite enough because those nanomachines eat through those gloves real fast.
Oh,
Yeah, but then the general does the right thing. He says, "No, like sorry, like O'Neill's dead. Like destroy the samples. We can't risk this any further than we've already done." So
yeah, Hammond's like, nope, fuck this. We're not doing this anymore.
yeah. So it's really just a stroke of luck by him basically saying, "No, fuck this guy's statue." That they more or less get out of it.
Pretty
I
much.
can only imagine being Hammond and writing the after action report. My field commander went to a alien planet, got roofied, and contracted a STD
That makes him
from
old.
From a
Yes.
31-day-old woman.
yes. and like imagine being a politician reading that and be like, are we really funding this?
I mean, it's 1997. Big Willie would see that and be like, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Another note I have written down: the Earth now has access to working nanomachines.
Yeah, but these nanomachines do nothing but make you old. They're worthless.
Yeah, but nanomachines,
Yeah,
we could
but
study them.
nanomachines.
Like with the whole Metal Gear thing, we could have
I'm sure
super
you could-
soldiers.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure you could turn those nanomachines around. If they can make people age that fast, I'm sure you could turn them around and make them do anything else. Like cure cancer or increase strength or improve a person's healing capability.
or keep my hair from falling out.
Listen, man. Hey, as someone who had the male pattern baldness hit, just whack it all off.
You don't want to do the Homer
I took the
Simpson.
plunge. I took the plunge, and it
Yeah.
still sucks.
Well, my hair's doing great.
Yeah.
But
So's mine.
yeah, congratulations, you guys won that particular lottery.
They find the lab notes from Pelops at one point, and Daniel and Teal'c spend most of the episode translating it. I just have a note here. Linear A is apparently ancient Goa'uld, which matters to history nerds. Listening to this, that's just a weird thing to throw in there.
Yeah. At a
'cause-
certain point, I think they're just trying to find characters that they could use for the show, and like, oh, whatever, these are fine. No one knows what these are.
Yeah, no, literally, like Linear A is like, hey, there's this ancient ride, we have no idea what it means. It's like, oh well, it's ancient alien language. It's like, okay,
Yeah, just-
sure.
Just do the History Channel aliens thing. Like everything's aliens. It's fine.
And conspiracies. Don't forget the conspiracies.
I mean, basically, Stargate is what if like the sinister G-men from X-Files were the good guys. Like once we get to the on Earth episodes, that's kind of the vibe we're going to be getting. That's for later, though.
Honestly, I think we've said more than I thought we would say, because this episode, like, again, not all that much actually happens. At some point, they've set up the plot, and a lot of it is just, here is a shot of O'Neill complaining about getting old, or learning some kind of life lesson. And then here is a shot of them trying to figure out what's going on. And then here's a shot of O'Neill, and that's the episode. And and at the end they're like, "Oh, we magically fixed it because we've hit our time cap for this episode."
Status quo is back. Enjoy your
Very
2-week vacation.
standard Star Trek format episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is what this
I
is.
would say this goes in the skip bucket.
Yeah. Oh, there's one thing here. I do want to call out the special effect of the nanomachines eating those rubber gloves in the lab. That is a good special effect. Some good practical effect worked on their part.
Yeah, I think that's like an actual chemical reaction that they did, right?
Yeah, probably. Like they probably set it up to like do like a thing that melts rubber gloves and then set that up. But like that's some clever effects work on their part. I just want to hand it to them for that.
Yeah.
And another thing, so when I was watching this episode, my wife was in the room, just kind of like hearing it in the background, and the part in the lab, one of the lab scenes where Carter goes, they're not multiplying, they're replicating, and there's a beat there, and in that beat, my wife goes, "What's the difference?" And then immediately Daniel Jackson goes, "What's the difference?" in the show, and that was very funny to me.
I
Nice.
imagine y'all both laughed out loud at that.
It's good
I
to
thought
know
it was
that you're
fun.
married to Daniel Jackson, Borgmaster.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything.
I am so going to tell her you said that next time I see her.
Oh no, she's here.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah. So
that means she's the safe one, the one in danger. Am I not wrong? Like,
Yeah. One other thing to point out: only 2 good Teal'c quotes from this episode. The first one is, "I believe this woman wishes to spend time with O'Neill," and the other one was, "I did not intend my statement to be humorous."
Oh right, yeah. Those are towards the beginning when O'Neill gets roofied.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the line they have about sticking to rations, yeah, probably a good policy.
probably a good policy. It is very funny that like he started eating that and he wanted to share, and she was just like, "No, just for you." Like at that point, red flag should have been blaring. Really, everyone here did a very poor job of stopping him.
Yeah, they immediately break the whole "we should stick to rations" idea in the next episode. By the way.
Yeah. And another thing is when somebody does a sexy dance in front of your superior officer, then drags him off. Maybe that should have prompted a more assertive response in that moment.
It's fine. It all worked out. Nobody died.
Who is the next character in rank? It's Carter, right?
Carter, yeah.
The only other person with a rank.
Yeah, she's the only
other
one with the
military
rank.
officer. She's just like, the entire time.
She just seemed more disappointed than anything else, but whatever.
And shenanigans were had by all. All right, moving on to the last episode for today. Episode 9, Thor's Hammer.
Yeah, and probably the best episode out of this bunch.
Also, the most important episode, and it's not a main plot episode. The lore is very important in this episode. So yeah, it starts. Daniel is telling them that, hey, there's probably some good ancient gods out there. Because like Norse mythology, which, and then
choosing Norse mythology as your good ancient gods is kind of funny.
Put a pin in that. We'll get there. And the Teal'c remembers, oh yeah, there's a planet that like has this kind of symbology associated with it. We're not allowed to go there though. So they go to that planet. Teal'c and O'Neill get zapped to a cave with a monster that tries to eat them. It also vamps at them, which is very fun. And then Carter and Daniel go talk to some women, go wander around in the forest for a bit, and then they find the cave that O'Neill and Teal'c were in. They all kill the monster. They destroy the thing in the cave that's supposed to kill Goulds and spare the host. Which that's probably not a good thing in the long run.
I think the whole way this ends, that whole bit, I figured we'd get to that like later on.
Okay, well let's see this overview.
That's incredibly irresponsible.
and with not giving away anything, there will be repercussions of doing that in later seasons. So
Yeah,
your
we'll eventually get to it though.
right, but your objection is valid because it
Mhm.
does result in some bad shit later on.
Yeah, that was a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
But that is
really.
mostly the episode, right? It's basically like we're gonna go to this Norse planet. Teal'c and O'Neill get zapped. They deal with the caves while Daniel Jackson and Carter try to find them. They find them, and then they kill James Earl Jones.
That's not James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
That's kind of a
It's
guy
the
who
voice.
hasn't done very much else.
The
It was
voice
just
is
his
James Earl
voice.
Jones.
The voice
Yeah.
is James Earl Jones.
Is the voice James?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
the
James Earl
voice is
Jones.
James. Yeah, like the actual, like the physical
Oh,
presence
yeah,
is
yeah,
just
yeah.
some motherfucker in a suit.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
right.
It's
Okay.
Darth Vader all over again.
No, like
Yeah,
as
it's the
soon as
same
he opened
thing.
his mouth, I was like, "That's James Earl Jones just doing his Darth Vader suit, his
Yeah.
Darth Vader voice."
No,
I do
the
think we
Cole's
should
notes of this episode is the one where O'Neill shoots James Earl Jones a bunch. Like that's what this is.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the creature they find can regenerate
and Unas.
like Cell from Dragon Ball Z, since we've already brought up Dragon Ball once.
Mm-hmm.
But we should mention like the beam that zaps it catches it scans everybody. It scans
It scans
Teal'c
everyone.
last,
Yeah,
and when it gets to Teal'c, it teleports. It locks onto him, and O'Neill picks this up and jumps in front of it, and it winds up teleporting both of them to the cave.
yeah, he
But
tries
like
to
the
push
fact that
Teal'c out of the beam.
the fact that it knew that Teal'c had a Gould in him is
Yeah,
like
because it's scanning for a
big
Gould.
tip. The other thing that's a big tip off that things are different here is that the natives that look pretty like primitive again. They're just like dressed in like a tunic, carrying wagons around the Stargate. As soon as they see people land, they turn, look at them in a confused way, and then laugh.
And then start
Yeah.
chanting Thor, 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 and then like the beam happens.
Like
And
they've
they're like, oh
seen this
crap, that
shit
wasn't all of
before.
them. They run away.
They've seen this shit before.
Basically. I will say this. Teal'c scream, like, geez, man. He really sold
There's
the whole I'm in immense pain thing.
And they did, but there's some audio trickery going on there. It sounds like a static thing happening in the background of that Foley work.
Yeah, well, because they do like the static overlay for like the beam effect, and then him screaming, and then yeah, there's some audio happening. All right. So the Vikings.
Uh-huh.
It probably no one would have cared in '97, but the Viking gods being the good gods is
A choice?
interesting. It's a choice.
Yeah. I don't know about anyone saying that, Odin would be a cool guy to be like, yeah, this is the guy who's gonna like help us out.
I mean,
I mean, there are worse gods.
they still act somewhat stereotypically Viking-like. Like the recording we see of Thor is very stoic, and it's also very, I don't know the word I'm looking for, very anti-Nox. You are our enemy, we're gonna fuck you up. Like he literally locks his enemies in like a labyrinth, and the only way out is through a thing that destroys the Gould.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, you're not supposed to come here. Fuck you and die.
Yeah, like Thor, these Viking gods are not afraid of visiting violence upon their enemies. And they also mention, which I'm sure this will come up later, they also mention, I think this is the first time I've heard the word system lords. They also mention some kind of treaty.
Oh, right, yeah.
At some point.
That will be important much later. I'll just say that. Yeah, the system lords, I guess, are whoever the big Gould, I guess, fief lords are.
I don't know if the Vikings are necessarily good in the like generic good guy sense. More like the they're not parasitic and hostile towards us.
They're not that big assholes to humans, I guess, is what they're trying to go for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to like humans at the very least. They're not about to, you know, steal their bodies and enslave them.
Yeah, well, I mean, just from like a mythology perspective,
Oh,
I
I mean, in a mythology perspective, it's like the Norse gods maybe not necessarily the best people, but in this universe, turns out they're all right.
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why they chose the Norse, like their justification for the Norse gods
Yeah. Well,
being decent
let's
ones.
be honest. Behind the Greek gods, like Nordic gods are probably the most well known.
I have a more
Yeah.
practical explanation. People are more likely to believe that the forests of British Columbia are in fact the forests of Scandinavia. They look a lot more similar, whereas like Greek landscape does not look like the forest of Canada, and Egyptian landscape doesn't look like the forest of Canada. Like,
That explanation is not going to hold up once we see more of Thor.
okay, well, it is still very convenient that
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
could buy this as a
Mhm.
place in Scandinavia or
Yeah,
Northern Europe in general.
Yeah. I
I
just
will. No,
like
go ahead.
like in Norse mythology, the way the Norse gods interact with humans, is it more positive than in Egyptian or Greek
I mean,
mythology?
I don't think it's any different than like Greek mythology.
Yeah,
Um, like
actually, in Egyptian mythology, the gods are fairly like
they're assholes.
not that
Like,
bad to humans, and like in actual mythology.
I mean they can be, but if they're evil, they're usually evil to a specific person. As far as I remember, I don't remember like them committing like a mass genocide. Um, but I don't remember the Viking gods doing so either. Usually, but they will hurt and kill and rape people.
Yeah,
Um,
that's just like old god stuff. You know, that always happens.
Yeah, like the Greek gods are obviously a bunch of people assholes. Like so
yeah.
that I can buy
But
easily.
the
Yeah, that whole story starts with, doesn't like the parents try to eat the kids, and then like it's so fucked up, man.
that's the
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Greek
the
mythology.
Greeks were on something. Yeah.
But I like the introduction to Thor here. I think, I mean, that'll make more sense later. But I like the whole hologram that they think they're talking to, and they're trying to like reason with it. And it turns out it just happened to be stopping at the right time the whole time. I thought that
Yeah.
was a good bit.
Uh, the thing
Um,
I want to know is like, how is it the Asgard, as we'll become to know them, their advanced civilization? They don't have like a version of GPT that can like respond to people. Instead, they have just an advanced version of voicemail.
I mean, we all know ChatGPT is garbage anyway, so they just learned that sooner than we did. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it would just hallucinate something like I don't know. It just start talking about like Billy Idol or something, and you're like, what?
Also, he doesn't need anything like that here. He just needs a message saying, "Here's where you are,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
but
hey,
here's
guess
what's going to
what?
happen
You
to you."
fucked up. You're gonna die one way or the other. Either you starve to death, or you walk through and die immediately and save your host. I don't
yeah,
care.
but pre-recorded message that you've perfectly spaced out for somebody else respond to what you're saying and have it come out as a coherent conversation.
Maybe
I
he knew
mean,
that, and
you could technically
maybe
do that as like a joke, just like you thought I was here.
he knew that and was trolling.
Uh,
I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, like, what are the other big things that happen in this episode? You meet a former Goa'uld prisoner.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
meet
the
the one.
Unas.
yeah.
That's
Well, no, no,
where
no, 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 no,
Oh no,
not her,
the
not that
lady.
guy. Yeah, the woman, Kendra.
Kendra, yeah.
She had a gold in her. She she was transported to this place. Um, Kendra says that she was able to influence the gold, like she was still conscious of her being while that gold was in her, controlling her. And B, when she went through she convinced it to go through this gate, which the gold were forbidden from going through this gate, by the way.
yeah,
She goes
I
through it,
mean,
gets captured, and influences her gold to walk through the gate.
Well, the ghoul. I mean, the ghoul can go wherever they want. It's the Jaffa who are forbidden from going there.
No. Teal'c says that the Jaffa were all taught the coordinates to this particular planet in order to prevent that gold from going through it. And the reason the gold were prevented from going through it is because once you're through there, it's Thor's planet, so it's outside of their. It's in the agreement that they're not going to go here. And B, if they go there, they die. They lose the gold.
Yeah, but they don't tend to. They may not necessarily know that they'll go there and die. It may just be an agreement thing because the way that she explained it is that it's not that she was in control, that she was like an influence. She could speak to the Goa'uld.
Yeah,
so
that's what I said.
It's like she more or less
mind.
like tricked it and saying like, well, no, if you go there and you take what you want, you'll be considered a hero. And it's just like, well, nope, guess you screwed up, right?
Yeah, and another thing we have established with like Ra and Apophis is the Goa'uld are extremely arrogant. I mean, just because you have a rule doesn't mean everyone's going to follow it.
As we will see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this whole introduction to this lady is sort of more of like the carrot in front of Daniel Jackson's stick, saying like, "Hey, no, you could totally save your wife. You could totally save Skara. This is all totally fine." And I guess the majority of this episode is her coming to terms with like, is she going to help these people even though it means saving a Jaffa, which she also hates because they pretty much like took years off of, they stole her life basically, literally, in a literal sense.
This is the first we get of characters saying, "Hey, the Jaffa aren't innocent." They're slaves, but they're not innocent at all.
You did compare them to Mamalukes just now.
Yeah, I did.
And
they weren't innocent.
Speaking of a class of people who were slaves but weren't innocent and had some power.
Yeah. So like the prejudice against Jaffa, we will see more of that, and this is kind of the first we're exposed to it, where she's like, "Oh, Jaffa, oh fuck those guys, yeah, he should die."
Yeah.
I do think this show crosses a line from, and it doesn't really cross like a major line, but it does cross a line from sci-fi to fantasy when fucking Thor is communicating with Kendra via thunder.
Okay, so I don't think that's what's actually happening. She's just following the local superstition.
But the thunder happens at just the right time.
It probably happens a lot.
Listen, you'll understand what he's talking about later. That's all I'll say. It'll make more sense later. I wouldn't follow too much on like, oh, the signs from the gods. It's more so like these are the people that saved her after she was wandering the desert, so she follows their traditions, she helps them. I do like how Daniel Jackson freaks the hell out when she like points that Goa'uld tool in front of that person. It's something that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. We will see more of those.
I kind of feel bad for Daniel Jackson in this episode, especially with the way how it turns out.
Making him pull the trigger. It's fucked up.
Yeah. But I guess like the other big stuff that happens in this episode is just like the character moments between O'Neill and Teal'c in the thing. Teal'c's constantly saying like, "No, just leave without me. It's fine." And O'Neill's like, "No, I'm not abandoning you, man. It is like we're gonna find our way out of this." And that says a lot, specifically because like O'Neill has a vested interest in having this technology. The ability to remove a Goa'uld from the host is something that is like exceptionally
incredibly
useful. Incredibly important considering what the Goa'uld are.
Yeah, so just to clarify, they do, in order to get Teal'c out of the cave, because Teal'c can't walk through this force field, they destroy the force field. And I'm like, okay, look, I know you got to get your friend out, but this is a thing that can heal your people in case any of them get captured, get a Goa'uld put in them. And also, it's the most important find yet in this whole conflict against that Goa'uld, and you just destroy it?
Yeah, like it is a bit much, but like I don't know, like this is more them showing that this is them like hammering home like, no, Teal'c's important to us. We're not going to sacrifice someone for this.
On a practical level, surely you could get some kind of excavation equipment or something.
Yeah, like
or
like in all honesty,
grab some C4 and blow a hole.
What should have
Yeah.
happened would have been just straight up like, yo, we found something real useful. Let's go back through the
We're gonna-
Stargate. Teal'c, you wait here. We're going to get some mini excavators. We're going to get a hole through this, and then we'll patch that hole up later. It'll be fine.
Just
Yeah.
get some Army Corps of Engineers guys
Also-
in there.
Also, how did Teal'c get back through the Stargate since the beam is staring directly at the Stargate?
Don't worry about it.
Did
Yeah,
he just
don't worry
did he
about
just like did he just like run through?
He
'Cause
ran
it
really
did take
fast.
a minute. Yeah.
Like it does take a second. So if it's just like, okay, Teal'c, we're gonna start the Stargate up, and then we're gonna jump into it for it to scan us. The moment it starts scanning, you just go right through it, just like, whoa, 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 whoa. It would work absolutely.
Yeah.
But,
I'll probably get through it.
I don't know. How did you guys like the what were they called? The first
The Unas.
the Unas.
Nice.
How did you like the introduction to James Earl Jones showing up?
Was this
Vamped
This
so
suit-
hard.
the suit looked pretty good actually?
I'm glad you like the suit, Justin.
Does it come up later?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
It's the same suit with the same guy in the suit for all the times the Unas show up, which is
Oh, so he shows
Fun
up
thing.
again.
Yeah.
So he's not
Did-
dead.
no, the Unas are a species.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there was actually a lore drop here, and basically what Teal'c had mentioned is these Unas and the gold actually come from
Oh.
the same planet,
So these were the first hosts.
right?
Yeah.
And if you remember back to the Stargate movie, there was like a 3-second scene where there's this like lizard creature like screaming in pain when they were I think it was like early in the movie. I think this is like a tie back to that.
It's
Yeah.
it's a reference, but the creature in the movie is more of like a gray alien type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? This is another case of James Earl Jones kind of stealing the show whenever he's on the screen.
Or his voice, at least.
His
Yeah.
voice, at least. I do like how he introduces himself. I do like how freaked out Teal'c is. And I really, really, really love when O'Neill points the weapon at him and he says, "Your weapons will not work here." And then,
Yeah.
that was so fucking good.
Just O'Neill not giving a single shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
the
like, oh
MP5
shit,
just works.
they do work. Ah,
It's worth noting MP5's way more accurate than is presented in the show because he shoots it and like it paints the entire wall, and instead of the thing is 5 feet away, and even if you had held the trigger down for half a magazine, it wouldn't have spread that much if you were a trained marksman.
I mean, it's a pretty big thing. At a certain point, you're just like, I don't know where this thing's heart is. Let's just hit every inch of this thing's body. Just like
I mean,
spray and pray.
Let the recoil take over.
Yeah,
And also,
yeah, probably
was he
Ask
doing it
questions
one-handed?
later.
I think he
No,
was doing it
holding with both
one-handed.
hands.
Oh, he was? Okay.
That I don't remember.
Yeah.
If he was holding it one-handed, that's very irresponsible. Don't hold an MP5 one-handed.
Well, those MP5s don't have a stock. It's like the shortened version. I think he had his hand like on the underbarrel. He was just holding it out in front of him.
You can still aim it a little more accurately than he did.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But my takeaway from the whole shooting the Unas thing is when he comes back a second time because he has a gold in him, he regenerates. Why wouldn't you shoot him in the head the second time?
I was about to
Why
say,
wouldn't you
like,
take the head off?
dump the
Or, like-
entire magazine into his head, or once you have him down, like crush his head. It takes him a minute to get back up, so like keep shooting it. Take that staff and just bash his head in.
It is
Take a
an
knife
unknown
and cut off
alien
his legs.
species that only one person knows, and they think it's a legend, and the other person knows nothing about. Like, it could theoretically, considering that this thing just regenerated after getting shot a bunch, when it had no pulse or anything like that, it wouldn't be out of the purview that they'd say, like, oh, well, even if we crush this thing's head, who knows if it grows back or not, right?
Okay, when it's down and out for a few minutes, flip it over, see if you can see the crease where the gold enters, the crease that you know is there, or the scar. and cut the fucking thing out. You don't care if it survives or not.
I guess the whole thing is them basically just trying to find a way out at this point, though, right? They're just kind of like saying, "Well, let's just get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
I do like how as they're leaving, like he keeps trying to reason with them, and then when every time like he's within sight range, they just point the guns at him and start shooting. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Well, I mean, he's not reasoning with them; he's taunting them.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's trying to get Teal'c to switch over basically the entire time.
Yeah.
Like he's talking and then they're opening fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't there a line where this Unas is like, "Hey, let's eat O'Neill," or
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened before this whole thing, like before he got shot. He was feeling pretty like confident until those bullets started flying, I gotta say.
Yeah,
I mean,
everyone
he
thinks they're
expected
tough until they
He
get
expected
shot.
all weapons. He expected all weapons to be broken, and not like a simple firearm.
Yeah. Geez, just like this whole thing. When they eventually like find the entrance and they more or less do their last stand, I think this is kind of like a, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good fight scene, but you know, they do an all right job of it.
It's a fight scene.
Yeah, they
But-
more or less do the same thing that they did with Kowalski, except this time Teal'c pushes the guy into the death beam. It's just O'Neill happens to be there and save him. And he just
Yeah,
kind of pulls Teal'c out. I think this is probably the part where I think it would annoy most people. You guys notice that Daniel Jackson and Carter and all that, they find their way in through. Don't they like show up behind the portal, or do they show up
Yeah.
at the portal?
behind it, like at the other side of it.
Yeah, so like, why not just use that hole to get out?
Well, no, because you have to walk through the energy field to get to the door.
So you have to do that no matter what.
Or get like the
Yeah.
Army Corps of Engineers in there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. That's fine. I mean, the whole plot point of this episode is to sort of show that they're willing to, you know, sacrifice technology to save their new ally. So I guess if you just kind of make that point moot, it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah. Or just have people walk into it and then have someone on the other side grab him out of it and someone behind him push him through it.
just do the really quick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen.
this is gonna hurt a little bit, but it's gonna allow you to live, and we get to keep this badass tech. Sorry, Tilk. But I mean,
I mean, Teal'c keeps trying to die, so I don't think he would mind.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me about this is he's constantly just like, no, man, like I'm willing to sacrifice myself for you guys. Like, they're really trying to paint him as like someone who's super, like, you know, he's not a fickle person. He's absolutely 100% in on this cause, and I think that's kind of cool. Like, I don't know if you could call it Teal'c character growth, but it's definitely like this is showing you who Teal'c is as a person.
He's more hardcore than the rest of them combined.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Constantly willing to die or stay behind for everyone else's sake. Just a real cool dude.
Just a real cool dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
I mean, the implication in the movie was that O'Neill was willing to die, but that was also right after. You know, that was when he was in a moment of grief.
Yeah, like a super grief, really. Like, geez.
I mean, O'Neill will also have his opportunities to try to sacrifice himself. That's why he and Teal'c are bros.
Yeah.
They both are willing to do the hard shit.
Yeah, that checks out from what I've seen. Yeah.
yeah, we all need a Tilk in our life.
Indeed.
Yeah, perfect setup.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I don't know. Are there
I
any
think,
other moments in this that you guys really like?
I have a lot of notes.
yeah,
All right.
my one of my takeaways is this is the first instance where Junior has actually gotten Tilk
Oh,
into
right.
trouble versus gotten him out of it. Because up till now, like anytime there's like a disease or a virus, it's be like, oh, my symbiote protects me from that. Oh, he protects me from this. It's like, oh, I got shot, no problem. I'll just heal.
Oh, also, is this the first time O'Neill calls it Junior?
Maybe.
I'm gonna say that it is because I don't want to go back and rewatch all these episodes.
Fair enough.
I think so, because I thought it was just a smart ass comment. But is he going to continue? I guess he's going to continue saying Junior.
Yeah, that's what O'Neill decides the thing's name is.
Yeah. And Junior's going to be like the unsung hero of SG-1 for multiple seasons.
Did they give him his own hat and a backwards cap and an eye patch?
No.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Just comes out smoking a cigar. Hey guys, what's up?
Does this thing look like a? Does that thing look like a mini trimmer to you
Kinda,
guys?
yeah.
I will say this is definitely a different effect for one of those like little golds. They didn't do CG this time, where I'm pretty sure they were doing CG a few other times.
I don't think that
Like the
was
first
CG.
episode was a practical effect. I know that, but it
Yeah.
wasn't this practical effect.
This one was it was pale, and this one was pale in color because the one time they showed it was after it had been hurt.
Yeah.
I think when they show the adult ghoul, they use CGI, but anytime it's like this larval one, I think they do like it's some sort of animatronic, or
Yeah.
maybe it's like on wires.
Yeah, whenever the thing is like crawling around outside of a Jaffa, it's CG. Whenever that one poking its head out of a Jaffa, it's practical. Because it's easier to do the animatronics that way.
Mm-hmm.
So how did everyone like the Carl Sagan joke?
What Carl Sagan joke?
The box from the Sagan Institute that Daniel had commissioned.
Oh,
To use for first contact.
Yeah.
Just them for some reason dunking on the Voyager probe. I don't.
Yeah. They do end up actually giving that thing away to those people, right?
Yeah, and we're almost
yeah.
like, "What's this?" And like, "Oh, just if you see Thor, give it to him." It's like, "Sure."
Yeah, sure. Oh.
I just enjoy I just Carl Sagan catching strays. Stargate.
Sometimes he deserves it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, it's look, man, like that the golden disc on the Voyager probes is kind of cringe. Like I will. That's just me. I guess I'm not sincere enough to be.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but also like if some other alien species catches it, like what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, like no, they're gonna look at it like what the fuck, but they're gonna have if they're able to understand it, I guarantee you they're gonna have their own nerds who are like, we're gonna study this thing for the next 2,000 years trying to figure out what the hell it is.
Oh yeah, it could be that.
They are absolutely gonna have. They're gonna have alien. They're gonna scan that thing into the internet, their internet, and then alien Reddit is gonna pour over it and come up with all sorts of bullshit. It's completely wrong.
My sincere hope is that whoever made that disc like deleted all the stuff that was supposed to be on it and just put like a Rickroll on it.
Well, no, this is the 70s, and we do know what's on it. It's like various spoken phrases from different languages. Some jazz is on there.
Some math.
Yeah,
some math is on. Yeah.
Why
it's a shame that it didn't get sent later, because then we could have put the B movie on it.
Oh yeah, that's true. The highest of human achievements.
Hey, okay, that way you could say, "Do you like jazz?" And then there's the jazz on the disc. You could just listen to it. It's all good.
Footy tag.
Oh yeah, that's another one you should put on there.
All right, so I have some notes. When they meet, what's her name? The I guess local head woman.
Yeah.
Who like makes introductions. When Jackson and Carter are very freaked out about their teammates getting zapped away, and she rides up on a horse. They're talking to her. They're trying to explain where they're from. It's like, oh, Midgard. Oh, cool. Yeah, from Midgard. Yeah, we know what that is. Mm-hmm. And then she just introduces them as like, oh yeah, they're from Midgard.
Yeah. And everyone's just like, hey, cool. Want a drink?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, like, in these people are like definitely they don't have like tons of like technology, but it seems very obvious that they're used to seeing technology, but it's like to them it's more magic or tools of the gods.
Yeah.
So like when they see it, they're just like, that's not my thing. I don't really care.
Like I just really like that they still remember the home planet. And it's in their mythology, and then people show up from there. They're like, "Oh, cool, what's up?"
Yeah.
I just find that fun.
It's like meeting someone from. It's like if you're living in the U.S. and you meet someone from like the UK. You're like, cool.
Yeah, I like the line kind of like after that. Like she implies her husband is gone away, and
It's
Yeah,
gone,
and
it's
also
gone
like,
a Viking, and then she was like, "Oh, he's like fighting and like pillaging." And she's like, "No, he went to town looking for work."
yeah, it's like
not very
He's
good at
about
it.
to go find a job.
there's no one to loot and plunder here, so now we have to actually work for a living.
Yeah, guy's
Yeah.
just doing his
So,
doing taxes somewhere. Like,
well, no,
Yeah.
it's like in poor rural areas and like and in certain places, like the men will go off when it's not harvest season and like try to find work in like the market town or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just like them going back to referencing cultural evolution after being separated from Earth.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a fun little thing. Let's see here, some production notes. In the opening scene, when they're in the gate room, the mule is way too close to the Stargate. That thing's gonna get vaporized. Also, this is our first trip to the rock quarry. Everyone, it's the rock quarry.
oh yeah,
Hell yeah, the rock quarry. I love the rock quarry. It's seeing that rock quarry is like snuggling under a warm blanket that you're familiar with.
it's like visiting your grandparents and the cookies are right there. Like, hell yeah, rock quarry.
It's like hell yeah, this rock quarry. It's nostalgic for me. This rock quarry they run around in. Graf has seen enough of the show to get that. Also, the first time they shoot the Unas, I mean, it's very hard to like hold your breath for that entire scene, but the dude's obviously breathing. That's a pretty common thing that happens.
Yeah, you can't really
in
avoid that.
productions. Also, that aqueduct in that one scene they're walking along, like
That looks like they're walking along a green screen or something.
I want to see. So the first shot, like there's not a green screen there when it was pointing forward on the aqueduct. It's like no, this is like a concrete structure going like in the woods with water in it. And then like when they do the behind shot, that's when there's the green screen. Or
Oh,
like
I bet you they took it and they just kind of copied and pasted it to make it look like it was a lot longer than it was.
yeah, but like they didn't go and build that thing out in the woods just for this one shot, right? So like what weird industrial thing out in the woods did they like repurpose to like look like?
I mean, it is Canada. That is probably how they get their water up there.
Yeah,
I mean, you
I've
could
just
always
always been
ask the
curious.
resident. You could always ask the resident Canadian.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that in Vancouver before, but I've definitely never seen it in Toronto either. So
I mean like that they probably like slapped some like plastic decals on it to make it look more alien, but like that's probably an actual concrete structure somewhere near Vancouver. And I've always been curious like what that thing actually is and like where it goes to. Does like feed a power plant or something? Like I've always wondered about the aqueduct in that one scene.
Is this what keeps you up at night?
It used to.
clearly,
So Kendra, she had training in the temple before becoming a Goa'uld and all that,
somewhere.
and well, she has a temple on some planet, and she does like a thing like a off-brand fear as a mind killer little speech to herself towards the end before going into the cave
Yeah.
with them. That's a nice look, a Dune reference. I
More
just
than
like
one
that.
in this episode.
yeah.
And then
I think she's one of the more interesting, side characters that we've gotten.
oh yeah. Last thing. This episode aired in September of 1997. The movie Thor from Marvel aired in May of 2011. That was 13 years and 8 months, if I did the math right. And it has been 13 years and 11 months since that movie came out.
You've been planning this
Okay.
the whole time, haven't you?
So
It's
that
all
means
led up to this moment.
we are about as far from Thor starring Chris Hemsworth as Thor was to this episode.
The timing's impeccable, I
Alright.
gotta say.
Wow,
It really
that
is.
is some masterclass research right there.
Do you think there's
Oh.
a chance that the reason why they went with the Asgard gods is because someone who was the writer on this show was just an absolute big fan of Thor in the Marvel comics?
I don't know. So,
I mean,
Oh.
Viking stuff has been a pop culture thing for over a century. Like you can find like 19th century drawings and shit
oh yeah. People have
of Vikings
the wrong
and
kind of
stuff.
people have always been into Norse stuff as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but I didn't want to get into that.
This is what I was going to though. Like as far as like Thor though goes, like specifically Thor, it's kind of been co-opted by Marvel Comics for the longest time, right?
Well, the thing is, like, Thor was a relatively not a mainstream comic book character until the movies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even argue that he's a mainstream character in the movies, really. Like
He
he's
is
been
as far
around
as the
for a
two
long
Avengers
time.
movies are concerned. He is as far as the two Avengers
The
movies are
merchandising
concerned.
goes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
He's mainstream.
Those first two movies weren't anything special. I would
Yeah,
say though.
yeah, but everyone knows who Thor is now. Oh, Thor, the god of thunder. Yeah, everyone and their moms and their kids knows about Thor now. So seeing this episode, like the beginning, like Daniel explaining who Thor is, as though like the audience doesn't automatically know who Thor is, and it's like, oh, Mjolnir. It's like, oh, what's Mjolnir? Oh, don't worry about it. It's like, oh, yeah, it's the thing that Kat Dennings did the joke with in the movie.
You mean
Uh,
mohair,
uh,
according to Jack O'Neill. Mohair.
yeah, no, because they had a less clever joke than the Marvel movie did with Mjolnir.
Yep.
So it's kind of wild to look back. It's like, oh right, this was before everyone just automatically knew about like who Thor was and what his deal is.
I
And that's
guess.
interesting to me. Like having to explain, oh, this is Thor. Yeah, he was he had a hammer. Like having to like explain that as you're expecting an audience to have never heard of Thor before or his hammer.
That is true. I always do forget that like comics weren't necessarily a mainstream thing until I mean even now like it's more so that the characters that came out of comics are more mainstream, not so much the
Yeah, because
comics
the movies are
themselves.
mainstream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
All right.
as far as like comics goes, I wouldn't touch most modern comics with a 10-foot pole because the writing just seems awful.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, who's that?
And to be fair, like in earlier episodes, they had to tell us who the Minoans were, who
I mean,
the
you still would need to like
yeah,
from audiences.
Yeah, nowadays you
yeah,
absolutely would need to say what the Minoans are. No one knows what the Minoans are.
yeah,
And I'm sure we'll run into at least a few more of those as we go along, right?
Oh
yeah.
yeah, but just the idea of treating Thor that way, is like, oh right, because there wasn't any like mainstream pop culture with like Thor in it back then. It's just kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that goes along with the line from the previous episode of it's been 25 years since we've been to the moon. It's like, oh boy, this show's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I don't know how many of you guys watched the Amazon version of the show. So if you click on, I think it's called like X-ray, you can like see like who's in scene, cast, music, and there's another option called trivia. And every so often, it'll give you something interesting about the episode. Apparently, you know the scene where they show like the front of the base. It's just a tunnel. It says Cheyenne Mountain Complex.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That is an actual
Oh, yeah.
base.
I've been saying
Yeah.
that's NORAD.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a Space Force base now.
Well, now it is, but
I mean,
that
yeah,
was
probably
NORAD.
now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Borgmaster. I didn't realize you had said that.
I've been saying it every recording.
NORAD, NORAD, NORAD.
I'm just so
I've been
used to
saying NORAD
tuning
the
you
whole
out
time.
now. It's just second nature.
Yeah,
NORAD shall be repeated until morale improves.
exactly. Does anyone have anything else before we close up?
Nope.
Uh,
I do not.
I mean, I would ask the question of like which one was your favorite of this batch, but I feel like I already know what the answer is for the most part.
Uh,
Like, is everyone just going to say this episode?
yeah,
I
Thor's
would.
hammer. I don't. I'm gonna. I don't know if anyone else agrees. I still think that Enemy Within is probably my favorite episode I've seen so far.
Really?
Oh, that I would agree. I like this episode a lot too, though.
Yeah, this is probably like second best.
Yeah. First episode, just because caveman eats grenades.
Yeah, I know
That's-
that
you know
caveman
what?
did throw that grenade. Yeah.
That is a little unfair, though. What if
Nope.
Thor started eating grenades?
Uh,
We will.
That
We'll get there. But and also just the Stinger missile to a Death Glider is real good.
yeah, that was really good. Yeah,
That Death Glider explosion is why we spent the past few episodes wandering around British Columbia with cheap special effects.
Yeah.
listen, they shot their shot in this case literally, and it was a Stinger missile,
Yeah.
or was it a javelin? It was one of those things.
It was a Stinger.
a stinger.
Okay, so the next episode, we'll be watching episodes 10, 11, 12, and 13 of Stargate SG-1. These episodes will be, in order, The Torment of Tantalus, Bloodlines, Fire and Water, and then Hathor. Who, boy, are we going to watch Hathor?
Is that the one to look out for?
There's basically 3 of these are ones to look out for.
Are these good episodes or bad episodes?
They're decently rated on IMDb.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. You'll have to find out for yourself.
I'll
though.
find out for myself as I watch them.
All right, and that does it for this episode of Chariots of the Pods. If you're listening to this, hello, and thank you for listening. We are, as you can probably tell, we are on the Deep Listens podcast network. I don't think that's how podcast networks will work, but in the Deep Listens podcast RSS feed, let's say. The Deep Listens podcast is a podcast about video games, where Gino, Em, and Pete, the main hosts who we all answer to, talk about video games every 2 weeks or so. On this feed is also Off the Deep End, where Chris, Zombie Pie Redacted, and Braden, Arbitrary Water Redacted, talk about old, gnarly RPGs, and I'm there about half the time. There's also the OG Soncast, which you can listen to by joining the Patreon at the $3 tier, in which Chris, Braden, and Pete talk about old anime that you haven't seen. But you probably should see. I don't know. And then during various sports seasons, there are sports podcasts. We are about to start with the football season with the Amateur Hour, starring myself, Tyler, and Gino, where we talk about the football Americano and some really silly math around it. That's a once a month podcast that will be starting up shortly for this season. Am I missing any podcasts?
They do Final Fantasy stuff every once in a while, but you know.
Oh, right, the Final Fantasy stuff. I'm not on those, so I don't care.
You got the important ones. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though I think the whole reason why there's more than just the Deep Listens is the Final Fantasy. I don't know my lore. Anyway, so that's it for Deep Listens. Make sure to join the Patreon, where you can get invited to the Discord and yell at us about how we're wrong about cavemen and grenades. Or talk about anime, or really anything on there. Just don't go to the food channel.
Yeah. You've been warned multiple times at this point.
And for the rest of us, I sometimes occasionally stream games on Twitch at Fifth Generation Gaming. I also have a website, fifthgengaming.blog, where I write about the fifth generation of video games. I review 32-bit console games in release order. It's a time. I'll tell you that. Does anyone else have anything they want to say?
I guess I could go quickly. I'm probably going to start streaming again soon on twitch.tv. The username's Jatzu84, Jatzu84. Gonna try to finally finish that Trails in the Sky second chapter game. So,
You should.
You know, I should. I've been meaning to get through that. It's just, when we did that charity thing, I feel like all of the energy in my body got sucked out at one weekend, which, to be fair, it did. So,
There's a lot of good stuff in that game, except
is.
Chapter 8.
Well, I'm only in chapter 3, so we'll see
Yeah,
where
there's a lot of
where
good
that
stuff.
goes. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Any last words?
I mean, I hope they're not my last words.
All right. Well, so that does it for us. Goodbye, Internet.